In C++, when you want to write conditional statements, you can use the if-else-if statements. But there is an alternative option that you can use in some cases to write conditional statements, and this is called the switch statement. One advantage to using the switch statement instead of the if-else statement is that it is faster and more efficient for the computer to run. So, this is the syntax for the switch statement. Keep in mind that the default part of the syntax is optional. You do not need it. The syntax could also just look like this. So, in the syntax, in the parentheses where it says expression, you are supposed to enter a variable that you have already previously declared. For example, if I've already declared the variable num of type int and given it some value, then I can put num in the parentheses in the syntax where it says expression. The variable that you enter in the parentheses is the variable that you are going to be checking for various conditions. After each case keyword in the syntax is where you will write your conditions. So, for example, where it says x is where you can write the first condition. If that condition is true, then the code written below x will be executed. If the condition in the first case is not true, it will move on to the second case condition. If the condition in the second case is true, it will execute the code written below the second case. And if all the conditions in the case were not true, if there is a default code, then it will execute the statement written under the default keyword. The default keyword is like the else keyword in the if-else statement. It is what is executed when none of the conditions are true. So what about the break keyword? Well, in each case, if and when C++ reaches a break keyword, it breaks out of the switch block. This will stop the execution of more code and case testing inside the block. When a match is found and the job is done, it's time for a break. There's no need for more testing. A break can save a lot of execution time because it ignores the execution of all the rest of the code in the switch block. Keep in mind that the break keyword is also not necessary. You can choose not to use the break keyword and it won't make a big difference in how the switch statement is executed. It is just that the break keyword saves time and efficiency. Now, let's look at an example of using the switch statement. This will help you understand it better. So let's say that I ask the user to enter an integer number, and if that number is 1, then I want to print out Monday. If the number is 2, I want to print out Tuesday. If the number is 3, I want it to print out Wednesday, and so on until 7. If the number is 7, I want it to print out Sunday. And if the number is less than 1 or more than 7, then I want it to print out, you entered an invalid number. So let's try to use the switch statement to execute this example. Over here, I have already written code that asks the user to enter an integer and stores that input in the variable num. Now, using the switch statement I just showed you, to begin writing the code, I will write switch, open parentheses. Now inside the parentheses is where I will write the variable that I want to test, which is num. Then I will open braces, and inside the braces I will begin writing the different values that num has to match with. So, the first value is 1. If num is equal to 1, then I want the code to print out Monday. So, I can write case 1 colon, and then I can write cout Monday. Then I can go to the next line and write break. Now in this code, if the user enters num as the integer, then it will print out Monday. Remember that the break keyword is not necessary. It's just there to help you save time and efficiency. Now I can move on to the next conditions. If the integer is 2, then I wanted to print out Tuesday. So I can write case 2 colon cout Tuesday. And then again, I'll end it with a break. Now I can repeat the same code until 7 and get it to print out different days based on the integer value that the user enters. So if the user enters 3, I want it to print out Wednesday. And so on. Now I've written conditions all the way up till 7. If the number is 7, it prints out Sunday. And then we've run out of days of the week. So, if the user enters an integer that is not any of these numbers, then I want it to print out you entered an invalid number. So, to do this, I can write default and then print out you entered an invalid number. So let's run the code and test it out. So when it prompts me to enter an integer over here, and I enter 1, you can see that it returns Monday. Which is right, because when the case is 1, it's supposed to return Monday. Now if I run the code again, and this time I entered another number, say 6, it returns Saturday, which is right. Because when the case is 6, it's supposed to return Saturday. So this is how the switch statement works in C++.